Welcome to Lost Future. Now we're going to take turns to say a scream. Flora, Chelmey, and Barton tell Layton and Luke all the way to the future. Luke?
With Flora in tow, the professor and his apprentice set out in search of future Luke.
And past Luke? Oh.
No, past Luke's with you already, remember?
No, I meant he was going to do the next screen, but there is no next screen.
Where's the other Luke, Professor?
He had contract disputes. Now that you mention it, we never decided on a meeting place. Perhaps we should pay Shipley a visit.
Jack Shipley?
Of course! You can get in touch with Big Luke for us. Shall we head over to the restaurant then?
Are you hungry already? Greedy boy.
I like the Italian-esque music here.
Yeah. Well, look who's back.
Mr. Starshin Scarfin?
The music in this group, in these games, are great.
The one and only. And who's your feathered friend there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Shiva. Tomohito Shiura is actually one of the most underrated composers in gaming.
Nice to meet you. Meet you.
He's fantastic. Every single piece of music he makes is always awesome. And the problem is that it's unfortunate that he never gets brought up when people are talking about great video game composition, because he really is up there.
So he's never made it to the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra having his songs be played by them?
No, it's not so much that. It's because his entire career has just been level 5, like literally.
I know that.
And level 5 aren't exactly the most known.
That's where you come in. I'd like some help.
A small, red, delicious mushroom? I haven't a clue where we could find one of those.
Mario Brothers?
Squawk no, squawk it.
Now that's the kind of can-do attitude I like, Birdie. But are you really up to the task?
You know what needs to happen, Pedro? Tell me, Nishimura-san needs to eventually have his songs played.
Jesus Christ.
I was saying Nishimura-san, Teo, calm down.
Squawk can now take on requests from people you meet during your
Give him a break,
adventure.
Teo. He's American. Americans tend to have a problem with that. But
Squawk, complete the requests in the parrot.
Heck, even you guys have had troubles pronouncing some of them.
The more requests you succeed in completing, the more skillful Squawk becomes. If you complete
once I learn them, I'm usually fine.
He'll
same
do
here.
stuff. See if you can help Squawk complete every delivery request you come across.
There we go.
Anyway, as I was saying,
trouble?
Let's get this show on.
You know what needs to happen? Tomohito Nishimura-san needs to have his songs be played by the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra. That's kind of the rite of passage for a really big known.
He does have his own orchestra, the Layton Grand Caravan Orchestra.
No. Pedro. I'm saying have it be played by the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra. That's kind of a rite of passage for some of the.
That's not how it works, Joe. You can't just ask to conduct the orchestra.
Pedro, I know that. What I'm saying is it's something that would actually help get him well known if his songs at some point in history get played by them, because that's sort of like a rite of passage. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the only thing that will guarantee fame, but it is something that certainly helps. Think about it, a lot of the biggest well-known ones have always at least at some point in their time, had the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra play either a remix or the actual score of their tracks.
The thing
I'm not
is,
saying
that costs a lot of money.
I knew you were just a fella for the job. This is a perfect space.
And I'm getting completely lost here already.
They don't always have to pay.
Don't bother, Dark. Sorry, this is just a mini game that has nothing to do with the plot.
You're just going like that and you'll become a fine delivery parrot. People will love you.
Anyway, I'm not saying to have a commission. What I'm saying is if it comes to the point where his stuff gets played at a concert, there are some cases where it doesn't have to get paid for because it's being recognized.
Your expert delivery skills of bouncing on trampolines to get to the other side.
For example, there was the Ace Attorney 2008 rendition.
Is there any story going on in this
known enough to the point where the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra played it?
There is indeed.
Anywho, back to the story.
Luke, I've just remembered something.
What?
Well, we have to get the mini game out of the way, Dwibs.
What's that, Professor?
I feel like we've been going around in circles. We've neglected to explain the situation to Flora.
After she passed out and everything.
True.
Gosh, you're right. It completely slipped my mind. I was too busy being mad at you for leaving.
There you go, Darkstar. Consider this you being filled in. Sure.
I guess she's bro.
Oh.
It's alright. I'm just happy I couldn't come alone. I could come alone.
Be that as it may, I think an explanation is in order. Let's stop at the hotel for a quick chat. Okay, guys, I need you to remain silent while I explain this to Darkstar.
Alright, Professor.
What's her name?
Flora.
Yeah, her. She's been so memorable. Seriously, isn't it like a cameo in the second game, and now she's important again all of a sudden?
She's not important.
What?
She's just coming on because she wants to be with Layton.
She was actually there for a good portion of the second game, too.
Not to mention, she was the whole point of the first game.
Yeah, but in the second game, she kind of...
Welcome back to the hotel, too. Oh, hello there, young lady. And who might you be?
I would rather them not pull a Knuckles and just have her there just for the sake of her being there without doing anything useful.
But that was her in the movie, wasn't it?
She wasn't in the movie. She was in the flashback. She wasn't in the movie. What are you talking about? The one who was in the movie was Emmy.
No, Flora was there for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, she was only there for the beginning.
Maria wasn't in Sonic
That was just a
cameo.
That was just a small cameo. Aren't they allowed to have cameos?
It was the
They're always
prequel to...
doing-
Well,
Yeah,
considering I
well,
like to
Let's
ban
take a
things.
Oh
Anyway,
dear, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to babble.
What are you talking about, Flora?
basically, Becky just misunderstood the whole thing about and shit.
Don't mind her, Becky. Flora can get quite nervous around new people.
Yeah.
Because she never met an actual person before me.
it's fine. She just lived with a whole bunch of... Well, she just lived in a town filled with robots.
Oh, I would never pry into my guest's personal affairs. That's against hotel policy.
Weren't you doing that earlier?
Becky, are you messing with... meddling in...
Quiet, woman!
I hope you don't think the worst of us for leaving Flora behind.
But hang on, wait a minute. 1 minute you're blaming me, and now all of a sudden it's both our faults.
Anyway.
Jesus, Luke.
What a charming room.
Mediocre. I'm glad you like it, Flora. Your room will soon be ready as well. And no, I'm not going to do a Mad Max thing here. It's already been done.
Oh, no need for that. I'm happy to stay in this one with you two. We'll just put it up on screen.
Put up a screen.
Put up a screen.
Get your lines right, Flora.
But there's only 2 beds.
That's exactly one.
Look, you're the smallest, so you can sleep in that chair there.
I give the orders.
And I can
I'm
take
the
one of the beds,
professor.
and the professor can take the other one.
I give the orders here.
That's not fair. I'm far too big to fold myself into a chair.
Well,
Maybe if it was the prequel trilogy when I was
I
smaller.
don't know. I mean, I'm
Well, maybe. Well, the
22 and
professor.
I managed to fall asleep build up on a beanbag.
The professor can do it because of his back problems, right, Professor?
Yeah. We can discuss the figurations
Luke
later.
can
But now
be
let's bring you up to
more
speed.
by sleeping on.
All right, pay attention, Darkstar.
Quiet. We need to explain the plot to Darkstar.
Sure.
All right, I'm all ears.
Are you listening, Darkstar? Your
I'll take that as a yes.
It's like London, but it's fundamentally different.
Fundamentally? More like Tempest-wise.
What's the difference? The city may appear similar to our London, but make no mistake, it's a far more dangerous place.
Indeed.
So it's a London
Shut up,
that tried to do the Revolutionary War again.
Explain the story.
How so?
What he's trying to say is that we travelled through time. This is London 10 years in the future.
And it's still as shitty as the one 10 years before.
No, it's not. Hang on.
Remember, this is Layton's London, remember? For all I know, it could be a shithole.
True.
Elementary, my dear, at that Layton, I don't know.
We're currently working with a young man who identifies himself as the future Luke. Before I know, he could be a crazed fan. According to him, in the 10 years between his time and ours, I became a rather unsavory individual. And here in the future, I rule over the city with an iron fist because I'm awesome.
I believe in England. England has made my fortune.
This young man is working with us to try and stop my evil future self. But it sounds
Just set the
awesome.
future right.
But I get to be the ruler. Why is this a bad thing?
Kind of like the Man and Quint all over again.
Because you're a dick, Professor.
Oh, yeah,
You're
bad
apparently even worse than David Cameron for this nation.
but that would be fair. Did you follow
Does
all
this
of
mean
this?
we
Really?
have to make jokes
Yeah,
about
so
Mega Man
fair
and
that we
Twins?
had to fight our way out of a casino with our lives.
Yes, but that's because I felt like playing with you.
Yes, I think so.
Right, I'm just going to take this under my wing.
Can you imagine the professor's a crime boss? I wonder what he's like.
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Hey, Luke.
Yes?
What happened to your voice?
If both the professor and you have older counterparts here, I should have one too, right?
She died.
Unless you die because Layton, in his turn to
Because
evil,
we
accidentally...
timey-wimey.
Okay,
Does this
actually,
mean we
for
get to make
Layton in his
jokes
turn to evil, force choked you, I'm
Well,
afraid.
Well, that depends. I mean, if the Godfather is anything to go by, mob bosses have a very strong sense of family. So...
Well, actually, Flora, what happened is that in his turn to evil, Layton lost control and force choked you.
But this isn't
Does this
Star
mean we get to
Wars.
I find your lack of tea disturbing.
But seriously, does this mean we get to make comparisons to Superman and Gods Among Us?
Oh,
No,
actually,
not really.
well,
That
an
was a
unintentional
different
one.
dimension, not a different time.
I guess you could draw comparisons, but those would probably be unintentional, especially since this came out years before that game.
Well, I'm curious as to where my future self could be anyway.
She died.
Or did she?
Oh,
Their self-envy becomes Super Flora, or... I need to stop watching DBZ so much.
I think we should move on. You know, Flora, the restaurant we're going to now is said to be one of the best in town. If that's the best, I hate to see what the worst is.
Oh, come on, Professor. With a mustache
Have
like
you even
that.
eaten there yet?
Oh, come on,
That's so
Professor.
horrible.
They sell broccoli pizza.
With a mustache like that, Professor,
I
how can
love
you...
broccoli.
Professor, with a mustache like that, how can you be a bad cook? There's just no way.
Just because they have a mustache doesn't mean they can cook. But by that,
I have a mustache and I clean dishes.
yeah.
by that logic, Gordon Ramsay's a shit cook.
They kinda is Leroy, honestly.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you see that crossover between the Muppets and
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Oh, fancy seeing you here, Herschel. Pay attention here, because this is important.
Yep,
Have you been
important.
have you been keeping well?
Very well, thank you. You're looking rather well yourself, if I may say so. Spry, even.
The only difference is his hair color.
Who's ringing?
Well, more like, oh
Hey.
goodness no, this old man is growing older by the day.
You look like a traffic cone.
My hair's gone completely white, see?
I know Pedro and Jova have, but Dwibs, have you
Hold
played
on.
this game or is it just the crossover? Oh,
Have I just played the crossover?
okay.
What the?
Ah, yes. I thought there was something different about you.
What
Hmm.
the?
Indeed. Okay. Some people say silver hair makes a man look distinguished, but I was partial to my crop of brown.
My,
There is a little thing that has existed for many years called hair dye.
Now listen, Herschel, London's full of people quick to sully your name.
but I thought I did that already.
Rest assured that I don't believe a word of it. He's loyal.
That was quite a shock, Professor. We saw the dean a few hours ago and now he's aged a full 10 years.
Well, it's time travel. Yes, time certainly appears to have left its mark on Dean Dalmona. I'm over here, you know!
Is something the matter, Professor?
Somehow this isn't making any sense. Not at all. I just needed a moment to think. Let's be on our way.
That's your hint, Whips. Anyway, that's why I said it was important. Anyway, let's go at it.
Okay, where to go? Do not talk to the mob boss.
It's right there on the top screen, Professor.
Oh, go to the restaurant. Okay. Oh shit, we gotta eat at that crap place.
Have you even eaten there yet?
Yes, I have.
Basically, I've decided to go. I decided to show off one particular cool thing.
Okay,
Oh,
Gio,
okay.
you're up.
Yeah. Hey there, little lady.
Sure, you're up.
Oh dear. This is the guy who we spoke to with Luke earlier, isn't it?
Yep.
You don't look very well. Are you alright?
I am drunk.
No worries, little lady. I'm doing just fine. Fine.
Bridge
I
is good.
appreciate your concern, though.
Who keeps giving him booze? He clearly doesn't need it.
Either way,
It has to be
thanks for
Crow.
your first have these puzzles. He's been sitting in my back pocket, so I'm telling you squash, but it tastes just fine. Fine.
That animation. Ew.
Yeah.
Well said, dear.
Alright, it's time for Flora to solve a puzzle.
So it's
I like
time
her
for
art
Flora to
style.
solve herself a
Can't
puzzle.
wait.
You have 8 jars of jam of 4 different types, depicted by the different colors. The different types of jam vary in weight. Your jars have been put into boxes in pairs. Use the skills to work out the relative weight of each type of jam and rank them 1 to 4, with 1 being the lightest and 4 the heaviest.
Indeed.
So
Lovely.
basically, it's a classic weight scale puzzle.
Okay.
Indeed.
I think there was one of these in WarioWare.
Yeah, there probably was.
Yeah, in WarioWare there's plenty
in
of
this game series. So
Anyway, Dwez, while you were gone, we met that drunk bar guy again, and guess what? He just happened to have a puzzle on his back pocket, so it's a little squashed, but he gave it to Flora, so Flora's not going to solve the puzzle.
Okay, forgive me a moment, I am very hungry, I just need to take a quick bite.
Oh, actually, Professor, we are solving a puzzle involving jars of jam. You want some jam?
Jam doesn't go
Kind of
very
it's-
well with pompadons, so
Our
thank
radar's
you.
been jammed. Only one person would dare give me the raspberry. Star.
Trying the red-blue box or the red-green box. This way you can find out which one is heavier, the blue jam or the green jam.
Yeah, Mr. Pedro, like I said, jam doesn't go well with pompadons, so...
Sure, I heard you,
What
Professor.
the what?
I heard you, Professor, don't worry.
Pompadons are like a very
I
large
like the
version of Indian
aesthetic
crisps to you.
this way.
Okay.
There's just something sad but yet beautiful about the music in the background.
it's
Yeah.
the puzzle music.
Yeah, basically each game has its own puzzle theme.
Well,
It's always,
well,
a,
again,
it's always
well,
a
again-
music box theme.
well, again, the second game shared the puzzle theme with the first.
Hey, Darkstar, do you like tragedies?
That depends on the situation.
Well, do you like heartfelt ones?
As long as they don't make me really angry, I'm fine.
Oh, well, in that case, level 5 and Capcom are
well,
your
the
man
tragedy,
for that.
the tragedy part is not what will possibly make you angry. The depends on which kind of person you are when it comes to a suspension of disbelief. Because the world of Layton is a world very wacky in nature. Like it's very weird and has a lot of out there stuff to it. But
Like Tim Burton-esque.
I guess you can kind of say that. But the thing that makes it work for
Which is
most people
More
is
like
the-
Ed Wood.
more
Actually, a
like
better
the-
comparison would be comparing it to Ed Wood. In the
Yeah,
case that
I
when
guess.
you go into an Ed Wood film, you of course have to have a certain level of disbelief. Obviously, you don't need the same level of disbelief as you do for an Ed Wood film, but it's basically the same idea.
Which is weird because depending on the Layton game, I can either go with it or I can't.
Yeah.
Well, depends.
Some
Like aside from the
outlandish for their own good,
well,
but
aside from the crossover, which particular plot twist didn't you like?
Me.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers.
Well, not
and she got it.
honestly. I mean, the robot one.
Was pretty
Like I know they tried to explain it, but it doesn't piss me off. It just kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts on the movie one? You know, with the machine that brings people back to life through memories.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
That's
what?
that's kind of dumb, but
Don't
whatever.
you remember Teo from the movie?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the crossover.
That actually sounds
okay.
beautiful in a way.
No, I'm talking about the movie. I
Oh, the
wouldn't want to
movie's
spoil it for
wonderful.
the crossover.
Well, the thing about for me, the thing about the plot twist is like this. Yes, they're
I'll be
dumb if
right
you
back.
apply real world logic to it. But the thing is, the Layton world is consistent in how quote unquote dumb it is anyway. So for me, it's just a matter of Layton. Okay, go into Layton world mode when you play these games. That's how I work, at least.
Do I have to expect something illogical in this game?
Are you gonna say, Jova?
Honestly, the whole Layton world twisting is consistently dumb kind of falls on me for several reasons. One being in that they tend to vary, and also I sort of get a bit peeved whenever they say, oh, there's absolutely nothing mystical in some cases, even though they have dealt with some mystical things. I mean, call it science or what you will, but honestly, a machine that can bring back the soul of someone, even if it's just your memories.
Jova,
sorry,
again, there has nothing to do with soul. I've already explained this to you. It's you keep you keep a digital image of the mind of the person, and then you put it into somebody else's brain. It's
like
it's science.
Jova,
it's not magic.
It's like in the 6th day. Have
Yeah.
you seen that movie?
It has nothing to do with soul. It's like
Pedro, that's just what I said though. Call it science or what you want, but you have to admit it's still an outlandish thing to bring.
Well, of course, like every Layton plot twist. Well, again,
Well, I guess-
don't get me
I guess
wrong.
my-
I'm not getting me wrong. I'm not saying you should like the plot twists. I mean, it depends on each person's taste and shit.
I guess
I'm just saying that. Okay, go
what
ahead.
peeved me off about a certain game is that honestly I don't think it wasn't just the typical Layton wacky plot twist. LOL, is that it was poorly written and badly
Yeah.
thought out, and it's like when they wrote that ending, they didn't even bother to touch up the script before so that it would make sense.
Yeah.
And it
For
just
me,
ended-
for me, it's
yeah.
like this. Like, for example, let's take for example the twist from the second game, which is quite possibly one of my favorites. The reason, it's of course like
Well, that twist makes more sense.
When
the
I
case of
love
it.
that twist, yes, it's wacky and outlandish, but at the same time, it painted a very awesome visual image of visual metaphor of Anton's mind in that game. So I
Honestly,
really
the
enjoyed
plot
that
twist in the
element.
second game actually, well, that's what the plot twist that I actually could buy. It's like, look, I know it's technically science, but even still, they are technically bringing back to life someone. I mean, seriously, even her consciousness is in the body in the movie. They even show her on her own will leaving the girl's body.
Mhm.
I mean, call it science or what you will, but they did technically bring her back to life. And like, well, look, I'm okay with that. But when you say that, when you say that your world doesn't have anything outlandish or anything, when you did have that sort of thing happen, not to mention discovering a lost dinosaur land that's preserved by the Golden Garden in The Last Spectre, that's when I get a bit peeved when you're a bit, uneven with how much suspension of disbelief.
It's interesting
And
because
also part of the reason I
there's a
didn't really
line in
like the
Azran
twist of the
Legacy.
crossover is-
Okay, go ahead. There's a line in Azran Legacy that actually pokes fun at that, where one of the characters, I'm not going to say which because of spoilers, one character says to Layton, yeah, especially a professor who tends to go on wild and dangerous adventures. So
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, and also my last reason for not really buying into the whole all Layton twist are this dumb is also the fact that honestly Ace Attorney does a better job of showing that it can be done, that you can include outlandish stuff but still come to something of a reasonable
The plot twist
conclusion
shouldn't come
based
as a
on it.
complete surprise to you either. You shouldn't be going, "Oh, I didn't see that coming." You should go, "Oh, wait!" Suddenly, little
There's
things
plenty
that
of
have
foreshadowing
been
to them.
foreshadowed. Yeah, that's I was going to say.
Not in
you
the
should be
case
thinking,
of
"Oh
the
my gosh!"
crossover.
Now
the
it's
crossover is
gonna be,
definitely
sorry.
yeah, the crossover is definitely the weakest one in that regard. But the actual main series is very good with the foreshadowing. One thing that I'll say, wait, I could hear some. Oh,
What?
Oh, while Pedro's trying to get his thoughts back together, I guess we might as
It's
well
like-
read what's
I
on the
said
screen.
you should be thinking, like, suddenly little parts of this plot actually make sense to me now.
Mhm.
for me, it's like I say. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
You there, with the shitty expression. Look me in the eyes when I'm talking to you.
No.
There's your emotion.
That's off, will you? I'm reading here.
Wait, Pedro's voicing
Yeah,
that
I'm
guy.
listening to Pre.
Sorry.
Listen, you hooligan, I'm acting under the authority of Scotland Yard.
Fuck off.
I demand that you
That's not
comply
very
with
nice.
my investigation.
Well,
This
well,
is
that-
Chelmey Darkstar. He's
Well-
not exactly the most pleasant being.
Yeah. Scotland Yard? It's been a year since the police had any
He
power in
probably
this
said he'd
city.
make death uncomfortable.
No power, you say? You do well to take a close look at the man before you.
I'm dancing.
Things are a lot different to 10 years into the future, you know?
The very sight of... No, he knows. It's just that,
Are you Batman?
very sight of this face, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there, settle down! Somebody help me! This oddball's getting too close for comfort!
It's a gift.
Inspector, please calm down and act rationally.
Stop dancing.
Look. Not now, lad. I'm putting the screws on this dubious character here.
Inspector, please. I can vouch for this man. He's just an ordinary citizen.
You're vouching for David Cage, of all people.
Oh, he's a friend of yours, Layton. You should have said so earlier.
That was bad. I'm
Don't worry,
afraid I waited
Darkstar.
You're off the hook,
an
newspaper boy.
unusual punishment afterwards.
But listen well, because I'll only say this once. Thanks, I'm listening. The soul of Scotland Yard and what it stands for is immortal, even in a corrupt pit of depravity like this. See here, Chelmey is not the most competent cop or even the most tactful, but he means well. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got an not to mention he'll do us some. Not to mention he's gonna have a pretty awesome role in the climax of this game. Anyway.
Really?
Phew, thanks for saving me from that
course.
moon. What was all that gibberish about Scotland Yard?
Oh, the inspector doesn't mean any harm. He just tends to get a little worked up.
Quite. Anyway,
Actually, I just remember what I was gonna say. Actually, one thing that I'm sure Dwells will.
It's another scene with Belle.
Ah!
Sure.
Oh dear. Come by and pay your sweetheart a visit anytime, Fluky. I'll be here waiting for you.
No, thank you.
crap.
So
I love
let's
that
see. In the
expression
future,
that
we
Luke
have
has
Belle,
every
and
time
in
he
the
sees this girl.
so in the future we have Belle pining after Luke, and in the past we have Rosetta Stone pining after Layton.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that pun.
Was that a burp?
Okay. I remember what I was gonna say.
I can't seem to open the door to the observatory.
Oh yeah. Wait till we're on the puzzle, Pedro, then you can talk about it.
Really? It looks as though the door is locked to the puzzle. And wait until I finished reading the puzzle, okay, Mr. Pedro?
Sure.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Thank you. Worry not, Luke. I'll solve this puzzle and have us through the door before you know it.
I love
Not
those moments where the dialogue pretty much.
The door is too
What we're
strong
saying.
for us to break, so I'll have
Yep.
to. So there's no choice. Move the red and
Oh,
blue
I love
blocks
this one.
to touch the spaces. So move the red and blue blocks to the spaces of the same color. Touch the arrow buttons at the bottom to rotate the board 90 degrees. Blocks fall downwards when there's nothing underneath them. Give it a try.
Okay, so basically it's a matter of spinning the finger around and having the two blocks fit in their right places. Okay. One thing that I haven't already showed the subversion to Dwibs. One cool thing is that Hino himself parodied that in the Professor Lincoln parody in Yokai Watch, where Luke even says, and I'm quoting, "Typical Professor Lincoln solutions are always full of holes."
Well, that's simple.
So even Hino himself is aware of what people think of as twisted.
Well, then again, one of the twists flat out pissed me off. So.
Sure.
That was the crossover, though, wasn't it?
For me, it's like this. Yes, for me, it's like this. To me, it's the characters and the overall emotional elements of the story and the overall...
Yeah, well, that was another problem with the crossover. I didn't really. Some of the characters were just kind of.
What
Yeah.
was
Eh.
that noise?
The door
that
open.
That was
the
the
door open.
observatory door.
True, but I'm talking about mostly in the main games right now. Like the main...
Thank you for meeting me here. I know it's
In my
I know it's
mind-
out of your way.
Even though I haven't played the crossover, and you obviously have some issues with it. Like, for me, the rest of the game seemed perfectly fine, so one bad egg, it doesn't really bother me too.
Yeah, but honestly, I felt that kind of ruined most of the previous story.
Let me warn you like this, Yoroi. While the ending didn't ruin the whole game for me, I will warn you, it is one of those Mass Effect free kind of endings that does kind of affect what you've been doing the entire game.
I know, but then again, like I said, I've got the other games that I can go back to and play, so...
I agree.
If you want
You know, it's probably best that we'll be playing that alongside Trials and Tribulations, because Trials and Tribulations has a twist that actually sort of handles supernatural stuff rather better, in my opinion.
If you want to know mine and Jova's thoughts on it, when we get to playing the crossover, we'll be uploading a video me and Jova recorded of us talking about our problems with the ending, so that we don't do it during the actual playthrough, so we can give the others a chance to voice their likes and or grievances
Do we
with
ever
said
get
ending.
to...
Basically, I'll just leave it long story. Yeah, good idea. Basically, long story short for me, while I really, really, really despise the twist and how the ending is carried out, it doesn't ruin the whole game for me. and it's not something that I'll rant constantly about. I mean, it's like whenever the crossover's brought up, I won't immediately just think about it. I mean, because there was still enough fun in that.
It didn't ruin the game, it just ruined most of the story for me, or whatever.
Now, if there's anyone I can blame for that game turning out the way it did, it's Keiji Inafune.
Nah, I
haven't heard from him lately.
Wait,
how
was he involved in that game?
Keiji Inafune was the guy who originally was a big supporter of the game at Capcom, and he left mid
and Keiji
development.
Inafune is like the.
So basically, the DLC they were planning had to be made solely by level 5, and Capcom wasn't involved.
Not just that, but the whole story kind of got retooled, seeing as how more characters from the Ace Attorney universe were supposed to be included, not to mention a lot of other ideas they had in the making. Basically, at the time, Keiji Inafune is like the big producer for a lot of Capcom's titles, especially Ace Attorney at the time. And, well, he was kind of, say, the Shun... I mean, no. He was sort of like the, Yuji Naka of the project, and well, he sort of left prematurely because he was fed up with Capcom, which, again, like Yuji Naka, okay, I get why you're doing it, but dude, pick a better time.
The product.
I know, it's like, well, Keiji Inafune leaving nearly, that nearly had the whole project canceled, and thus that led to a retooling of the story because a lot of money had been sunk in, so they sort of had to cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I'll just do what I do for films and just blame everybody.
Sure. Anyway,
just look at the actual trailer for the game. The trailer for the game shows a completely different story in the making.
Yeah.
The thing is, since you can't actually confirm whose fault this and that was, you can't really blame anyone legitimately.
It's the fault of everybody. I agree with Twibs on this one. It's the fault of everybody.
That's why it's just easier to say you all fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I agree that
honestly, to me, it's like this.
Ultimately, it's the fault
Except
of
for the
everyone.
musicians, you're fine.
Oh yeah. To me, it's like
everyone. I'm saying it's like, well, Yuji Naka was definitely the catalyst that led to it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, I understand. As far as I know, everyone shares a blame, but Yuji Naka was the catalyst that sort of led to the train wreck, is what I'm saying.
To me, I don't get me wrong. I definitely understand you guys with that, but to me, it's like this. Even if you're gonna consider, and even though I don't personally dislike the game. I'll still agree with the crossover being Akira Hino's biggest big blunder of his career, definitely. If there is one big blunder of his career, it's definitely that game.
Well, I wouldn't even consider it a floundering, because overall the game is still good, and honestly,
it's just the ending ruined pretty much all of it.
Yeah, okay, that's why I'm saying. But
basically just like Mass Effect 3. The game overall was amazing, but the ending is just that one thing that can sort of ruin the whole experience.
I know, but
especially if the game's plot heavy.
For me, even when you consider that, for me, Hino's failings are still more interesting than a lot of other game writers.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care who fucks up. You fucked up.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody fucked up. I already agree with you on that. I'm just saying that I still find the crossover, despite being a failure, a much more interesting game to play to me than a lot of other people's successes out there.
What's going on right now
absolutely.
Important?
Yes, we apologize, audience.
Okay, that's okay. I can sum it up real quickly. Basically, Luke here says we need to find a way to get those two guards we found in the other part out of that door so we can get into Chinatown. How are we going to do this? Basically, we're going to have Squawk imitate the voice of Bostro, aka the Layton's second in command.
I definitely want to voice that.
Yes, actually, Dwebs, it's supposed to... in canon, Squawk's imitation is literally to the point, so I should voice Squawk imitating Bostro.
Well, can you have a little bit of a scratchy parrot in there?
Basically,
don't worry, I'll try a little... Wait, it's not what the script says it is like, but sure, I guess I'll do it.
Honestly, we should just go with the parrot managing to pull off a perfect representation so as to not try to do
things.
Don't worry,
Dwebs, you'll still be able to voice the rest of the parrot anyway.
Luke, why do I get the feeling we didn't really talk all that much in this part?
Well, don't worry, Professor.
Oh,
In the next
no reason,
Oh, the part's
Professor.
over.
No reason at all.
Don't worry, Professor. In the next part, we'll get into Chinatown. So that should be fun. See ya.
Okay, see you.
See ya, everybody.